Christian Miller, two-time national champion and team captain for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and former Carolina Panther, and his father, Corey Miller, the pastor of pain, a 9-year NFL veteran with the New York Giants, and University of South Carolina Hall of Famer. This is the Miller's Edge.
And welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day. You got some nice weather outside. Obviously, there were some storms here in the state last night, so praying for all of our listeners that might have been affected. Hopefully, we didn't have anybody affected, and if there were some people out there that were affected, obviously. We're thinking about you, praying for you. Luckily, here in Tuscaloosa, things were okay. Sounded like we had some hail or something. Chase, I was sitting here on the setup, nice new setup, man. Very grateful for this. But I was playing Fortnite, practicing my Spanish, playing with some of my my friends that speak Spanish. But anyway, I'm sitting here, man, and I'm like thinking I'm hearing like some tapping. I'm like, wait, is that the game? I don't know. I didn't look outside, but I'm like, that sounds like hail. Were you aware, Chase? Did we get hail last night? Did you experience anything like that, or was it just really heavy rain that I was hearing?
I may have been heavy rain. Tori woke me up and was like, "You hear that?" And I was like, "Huh?" Like, I was half asleep. So.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I probably stayed up a little too late, and I told myself, I just was telling you, had to take Leo to the vet again. They're doing some more testing on him, praying everything is good on that end. But I told myself, I'm like, man, I need to go to bed early because I know I'm gonna wake up early, and of course, man, God, those games, man, you got to be disciplined, man. It's so easy to just get sucked into them, man. And then to me, it's like I'm killing two birds with one stone because I'm practicing my Spanish and I love it, right? Because I'm speaking Spanish like really the whole time. My brother's playing with us, so he doesn't speak Spanish. So I'm translating for him because we got one of our teammates who's literally from the Dominican Republic and doesn't speak a lick of English. And our other teammate, she's from Mexico. She speaks really good English, but it's really cool. But anyway, we kept playing. We were like, all right, one more. Next thing I know, it's way too late. And then that's why I'm up that late listening to what sounded like hail. Luckily, my car, like, it was okay. But anywho, hope everybody is doing all right. A lot to get into. Obviously, we weren't here on air yesterday because Alabama baseball was playing. They advanced to the next round, which is today. We were originally not scheduled to be on air again today, which was totally fine with that, given that, that means Alabama is, continuing in the tournament. But there were some delays due to that weather we discussed, and they had to postpone and move some games around. Therefore, we are on air, which is great. I love it. I'm excited to be back on there because there was a number of things that have come up that I wanted to talk about, wanted to discuss, and obviously we could always hop on YouTube. But I was like, you know what, man? I got a lot of stuff going on right now. Let me just take a day. We won't even just do the stream. But luckily, here we are back again, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I talked about the things that have come up. Well, you got a number of things that I think you guys will definitely want to talk about. Nick Saban had his Knicks Kids Foundation, right? His golf tournament up in Birmingham. Obviously, there's media availability. He spoke to the media. We definitely got to break that down. Of course, the hot topic continues to be the whole commission with Nick Saban being the co-chair, which, Chase, the more we hear from him, the more it sounds like this was kind of like, all right, hey, Nick, help us out with this. Cool. And we know Trump, man. He likes being, he likes to throw stuff out there, present it. He likes to get people interested. Well, Coach Saban's kind of the opposite, man. And the more comments I hear from Coach Saban, it's more, the more it sounds like he's kind of like, hey, man, I don't even know about this whole deal. Whatever I got to do to help, cool, but this is starting to get annoying. That's just kind of how I'm hearing it, but we'll discuss that here in a little bit. Got some big-time purchases being made by some Alabama players via NIL, I'd assume. Not that we really need to discuss that, but there's been some conversations about it, and I actually do have some opinions on that, so I definitely want to dive into that. In the NFL world, this kind of caught me by surprise, Chase. This wasn't on my radar, but I thought it was really interesting. The Olympics, they're coming to the U.S., obviously, very soon. 2028 will be in Los Angeles. A lot of people excited about that. But if you're a football fan, you're probably going to be even more excited because some news has just dropped yesterday that will allow NFL players, to get this, compete in the Olympics. At first, I was like, hold on. Are they referring to guys like my former teammate, Tony Brown, who's a track athlete, Marlon Humphrey, another former teammate, track athlete? No, not quite. We're talking about flag football, Chase, which is now going to be a part of the Olympics, which, again, wasn't on my radar, but I want to talk a little bit about that because that sounds really cool. And I love the fact that we're growing the game. Obviously, it's a little bit different version of the game. It's flag football, but we see the dominance that our basketball players have in the Olympics and all that good stuff. I'm really curious to see how this plays out because football is not widespread like that. And just imagining Justin Jefferson and guys like, like that running routes against some of these folks in these other countries that literally are just learning about football. Sounds a little interesting. And then real quick, also in terms of Coach Saban, not only was he, celebrating his golf tournament, another great turnout, but he also is now celebrating another award. It's not a national championship, but it's still a really nice award that he can throw in his trophy case. Coach Saban has now won a sports Emmy for outstanding personality and emerging on-air talent. No surprise there. If you guys obviously kept up with Coach Saban in his media run that he's been doing with ESPN, doing a hell of a job. I mean, he's just that. I mean, he's really good, and he's award deserving. So shout out to Coach Saban for that. We can talk a little bit about that. Plus, we've got some other interviews. Kalen DeBoer sat down with Greg McElroy, former Alabama quarterback, who now works with ESPN. They had a long, lengthy discussion. It's about 25 minutes. We might just, navigate through that interview. It's a little long, so I don't want to play the whole thing. But obviously, anytime Coach DeBoer speaks or any of these coaches speak, we like to listen. We like to react. So we'll probably do just that. 205-342-9904 is the number to the phone lines. Always encourage you guys to hop on here. If you ever got a response, you got a question, you guys know how we like to do it. We like going to the people. If you can't hop on the phone lines, you're a little shy, don't worry about it. I used to hate public speaking. Still not the biggest fan of it, believe it or not. You can always drop us an app message here on the Tide 100.9 app in that app inbox, or if you're joining us on our YouTube stream, which, again, we are live here on YouTube. I see everybody rolling in the chat. Everybody seems to be excited to be back. Love to see it. You guys can drop your questions, comments, and concerns right there, and we can also read those live on air. But, again, if you guys like a visual, you want to watch me do the show, you want to interact with me, you want to interact with the other folks in the comment section, which I urge you guys to do. We're trying to grow this community over here on YouTube. Check it out at The Miller's Edge. You can find us on YouTube. Again, we do stream live on YouTube 11 to 1, same time that we do the show. But again, if you're on the radio, on the app, no worries. Keep hanging out there. We'd love to have all you guys. But we got to take a quick time out. When we come back, we kick things off and get rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Quick time out. We'll be right back.
.365 24/7.
What's up, guys? See everybody in the chat. Let's see what we got. We got Q. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está tu día? Southern, Justin, Mimi. Nice. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. Glad to have you guys back. Like I said, we had the day off yesterday. Baseball was playing, but we are back. Roll damn Tide. Christian Chase and Bama fam. Southern always has that good energy, man. Yukenji's here. What's up, Yukenji? Nice. It's slowly growing, guys. Slowly growing, man. Slowly growing. I love it, man. Again, keep on liking the videos. Subscribe if you guys haven't. Share them. If you know anybody else that likes this type of content, man, please share it. We're definitely trying to grow some more. I definitely appreciate you guys. Saban hates politics. Yeah, he loves football. Yeah, and that's that. You can tell in all of his responses. They're all. You can tell he just wants to get the job handled. He don't want it. He don't want to do the politics. He don't want to do the whole media circus. He just wants to do what he needs to do to fix it. I don't blame him. Chasing the fast break. What's up? What's up, guys? Yes, sir, man. We're back and ready to go. Yeah, it should be fun. I forgot to mention, we will get off. We're going to finish here a little early, around 12:45, so 15 minutes early. Baseball will be playing around that time. I can't remember the exact time. But Yeah, so we'll probably finish like 15 minutes early. Okay, they play at 1, but I think the coverage obviously is going to start a little bit earlier. So, and we're taking on Tennessee, old Rocky Top. Damn, all this talk about AI. Well, AI even just throws up win probabilities right off the bat when you just look this up. Tennessee, 64% chance at winning. We will see. We will see. I'm excited to dive into a number of things. Now, the Keelan Russell buying his mom a car thing, that's going to be an interesting topic. Again, I always urge you guys, respond. We love being able to communicate with you guys and really discussing stuff. So if you guys have thoughts on it, drop it in the comments. Drop it all in the comments. Maybe we'll start there. Because that's definitely interesting. I got thoughts on it for sure. Anybody that knows me, man, I'm a big number one, I'm a big saver, but I'm a big financial stuff. That's right up my alley. So I'm definitely going to have some thoughts on it. Definitely. So make sure you guys get your thoughts turning on that one, because we're probably going to start and kick things off with that. All right, let's see. We got about 10 seconds left. Good deal. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. As you guys can see right here on the website that we love to visit very frequently, goodfeet.com is where you can check them out. If you guys are dealing with any pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it, they will take care of it. Clinically proven to do so with their arch support system. 3-step system designed to strengthen, maintain, and relax your feet. I was dealing with quad tendonitis, all type of stuff. Lower back was stiff, hip pain, because I did actually, believe it or not, I had several surgeries, right? Who would have thought, right? Playing football at Alabama 5 years, few years in the league. Who would have thought my body would have been banged up? Well, I was dealing with that pain, but luckily I found the Good Feet Store, and they helped me out tremendously. You can find them here in Tuscaloosa, Midtown Village, right there off of McFarland. You can't miss it, but you can always go to their website, goodfeet.com, to schedule an appointment or find the nearest location to you. Again, that is the Good Feet Store. Don't miss out. Again, it is try before you buy. Just walk in. They'll help you out. They'll tell you everything about the whole 3-step system. You can try them out. You can hop on. They had foot massagers when I used to go in there. I obviously have my setup. I don't need to visit them as frequently, but hopefully they still have it, because that was very nice. As they were doing everything, you just hopped on the foot massager. Can't beat that. But anyway, first-class customer service. But please, I'm urging you guys, check them out. South Alabama, nice new location, Birmingham. You can find one as well. But I'm telling you, man, it doesn't get better than this. And you can get more information on the website. But just walk in the store. You got nothing to lose. Try before you buy. They're not going to sit there and force you to do anything. Just check it out. Again, that is the Good Feet Store. Improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. All right, Chase. I got something for us to kick things off with. Have you seen this yet? Now, let me just go ahead and say, I keep forgetting that not everybody's on the YouTube stream. So if you're on the YouTube stream, you can go ahead and see what we're talking about. But if you're not there, don't worry. I'm about to tell you. Alabama quarterback, freshman, I should say. Alabama quarterback Keelan Russell. He went to the dealership. He dropped a bag, Chase. He got a new Mercedes, Chase. But here's the thing. It wasn't for him. It's for his mother, who looks great. She looks lovely right there. She's smiling hard, as she should. She just got herself a brand new Mercedes. Big old red ribbon on there, bow, whatever you want to call it. She looks very happy. And again, I don't blame her. And shout out to this young man for being, that type of guy, right? You see a lot of guys going out there and they're spending, jewelry, shoes, whatever it may be. And again, I'm not pocket watching. That's just the reality of it. But he decided to gift his mom a brand new Mercedes. At least I'm assuming it's brand new. I'm gonna offer my thoughts, Chase. Have you seen this yet, Chase? Obviously, you can see it on the stream. But have you heard about this whole thing, Chase?
Yeah, just a little bit. Looking at it now, it's a nice Mercedes. It does look new, nice white color. And the black rims too. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, I like the car. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it is a nice car, and I want to say it's a GL. Golly, man, it's either GLC or I can't remember exactly, but it's kind of on. And I'm not saying this to knock. I'm just giving everybody context. So it's kind of more on the entry level SUV side of things with Mercedes Benz. Really, really nice car. Again, I'm not saying that to knock. What I'm getting at is I'm trying to give you guys an idea on value wise. Brand new, you're probably looking at like the 50s. Again, expensive, right? I'm not saying it, but some people they might be thinking, oh, Mercedes SUV, they're thinking $100,000. This one's a little bit more on the entry side. So luckily he didn't drop too much. And the reason I say luckily is this: these are my thoughts, Chase. Right? As somebody who is former athlete, but I'm very big on saving. I've always been like that. Naturally, it comes to me, which is a blessing. A lot of people have a hard time spending a lot of money. Me, I'm the opposite, right? Like literally, I don't want to spend any money. So I'm a little extreme when it comes to this. As awesome as a gesture as this is, Chase, and I respect him for it. I love the selflessness. I love that he's putting his mother first. He understands the hard work and sacrifices that she's made to get him in that position. I love all that, and I respect it. I mean, I was raised by a single mom, right? However, as somebody that understands finances, understands, where he's at in this stage of life, I'll be honest, Chase, I don't recommend guys doing this. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking him for it. I don't want to sound like I'm being negative. I'm just being completely honest and transparent. As somebody that understands how investing works, finances, that whole deal, to be quite honest, it's not the best idea. And the reason I say that is this: I'm looking at On3 right now, and they're discussing his NIL, right? Because obviously you'd imagine this stems from NIL. Let me go ahead and say this too, by the way. This is not bought from Coach Saban's dealership. I've seen comments, everybody having an opinion, thinking they know everything. Oh, he got a major discount from Coach. First of all, Coach Saban is not giving guys discounts at his dealerships. I can tell you that, right? Maybe there might be a situation here or there, some with like a personal relationship, but I'm just telling you right now, players not getting discounts at Coach Saban's dealership. Number two, Coach Saban's dealership is in Birmingham. I'm pretty sure this is the one here in Tuscaloosa. This is Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, if I'm not mistaken. On3, he says he has a valuation of $1.3 million. I don't know how much he's seen of that. Normally, again, you got signing bonuses. I'm sure he's got some other endorsement stuff he's done. I'm sure he's represented by an agent. But typically, when you talk about these NIL evaluations, they're not seeing everything up front. With that being said, the reason I just don't recommend it is because anytime, number one, a vehicle is a depreciating asset. I'm sure you guys all know that, but it's a depreciating asset. Unless you're buying some type of classic car or something that is of value in that sense, especially brand new. Guys, I don't care how much money I've made or will make. I will never buy a brand new car. It's the worst investment you can do. You're automatically going to see a drop like 20%, like in the first year, off rip. There's no denying that. If anything, I wish these guys would tap in with me because I have ways to find in deals, cars that are like a year old that you get crazy deals on where I actually know how to. My last car I made money on, right? You just got to know what you're doing. Anyway, that being said, Chase, I'll be honest with you. Seeing these things, and it's not just him. I mean, even guys that are in the league, like they just got drafted and they immediately go buy a big purchase. And normally it's like, for a loved one, a mother, whatever. And I respect what they want to do, but I always urge them. You should always wait until you're in more of a position where really you're not going to be affected. Like, to be fair, this probably isn't going to hurt his pockets, so to speak, right? But again, I don't know what else he's bought, and it's not my business. But I always say to guys, maybe put this off, right, a little bit. Even if he waited, a few years where he really had that money rolling. The reason I say is, even just think about investing. Like, we had an opportunity the last month or so in the stock market where these guys, I wish they would have come and talked to me, because if they really would have been putting their money in the right places, they could have made really good money. And I always say this, football is not forever. And what these guys need to realize is, man, you have a window of being an athlete where you can make a lot of money. Once that window is closed, it's closed. You get what I'm saying? We even heard Cam Newton talk about this, Chase. Cam Newton made millions of dollars, not just from the NFL, but Under Armour. He even just said not long ago, he's even having to adjust himself and get used to those checks not coming in. Like, when you're playing in the National Football League, you're making that type of money. you get used to, like, say Cam Newton, right? These guys that are making 30, 40, $50 million a year, they're getting $1 million checks, millions of dollars in checks each week. But once that window is closed, it's closed. So it's so important that you do what you need to do while you have that opportunity to set yourself up. That way, you don't have to worry about being one of those guys that blows through it, right? I mean, literally, if these guys max out, Roth IRAs, 401ks, and all that kind of stuff that they can do, they invest their money. It is not really going to matter how long they play in the league. Obviously, that type of money is different. Second contract money is different. But you get what I'm saying, Chase? They have an opportunity to get a great head start. And if they manage it right, they can really set themselves up. But when I see stuff like that, again, as for his mom, I'm not knocking. If he really want to do that, it's on him. Again, it's fine. I'm just saying, if someone were to ask me, hey, man, do you think it's a great idea? I would always urge them to say, maybe let's wait, right? Let's wait till you're in a position where it's a little bit more suitable to do something like that. I'll give you another example. Greg Byrne, they asked him about, hey, why don't you go and ask former players for NIL donations that are in the NFL? You know what he said? Well, I'd want them to wait till they're in a better position. For example, like Steve Kerr, he's a coach. He's in his 60s, however old he is. He's already at the age where he can donate lump sums of money. It's not going to really affect him like that. Greg Burns not even going after the young guys like a Derrick Henry who just signed an extension, the guys like Jalen Hurts, whoever, who are signing these big deals, because he knows even though they're signing big deals, they've got family, they got other stuff they got to take care of. They're in their prime of their careers. He wants them to be smart with that opportunity right now, then maybe revisit it down the road. So that's kind of my stance on that. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but trust me, I'm not a hater by any means. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm, pouring rain on, like, again, really cool gesture. And I'd rather somebody do something like this than go waste money on jewelry that literally is worth nothing, like a big old piece of jewelry just to look a certain way, right? That literally depreciates. Maybe if you buy straight gold, Chase, because gold is actually worth something. There's a value in gold; it goes up over time. But anytime you get these custom pieces, diamonds, it's not really going to be. No. Anyway, that being said, those are my thoughts, and I wanted to talk about that because, again, I don't know how many young guys we have listened to the show that have plans of going and making big purchases like this, but there might be a couple, or there might be some parents that need to hear this. Because I think this is important for parents too, Chase. If you're a parent that's urging your kid to buy you stuff and do stuff like this when they're at this, and I'm not saying this is the case, again, I want to be clear. I'm not using his example. I'm not saying this about him. I'm just saying in general. Parents need to understand, man, it's not about you, right? It's about your child. And I'm starting to see like a trend in college athletics, and it's not great, man. Now, you see a lot of parents that are like making it about themselves. I'm seeing parents show up on visits. Again, visits. We're talking about high schoolers. Parents are decked out in all type of designer stuff. And I'm like, come on now. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of, it's worrisome. It's worrisome. I'm not saying they're exploiting their kids, but there are some cases of that. But again, at the end of the day, people need to do what they want to do. It's their life. Life is short. I also understand that aspect of it. If you want to, go and make a purchase like this for someone that you feel like sacrifice, I get it. That's fine. But from the financial and the strategic side of things, I always would urge people to wait. Because say instead of that money, you wouldn't put that away, that 50 grand, that is going to, in 3-4 years, is going to be worth half of it, maybe 25K, if that. Versus if you went and invested that right now, especially when you had an opportunity the last month with the stocks being down like 20%, things like that, putting it away, you're talking about being up 25% versus losing half the value. Again, I'm a very financial minded person, so I get it. I'm probably OD and I'm extreme when it comes to this stuff, but that's the way I think. And that's the way I wish these guys thought. Because then, Chase, think about this. You put that money away, say you make 50% on your money, because again, we had a great opportunity. That's very realistic. 50% of $50,000, right? That's a lot of money. You're almost paying for a majority of that car if you do it a few years down the road and still have your 50K in your pocket. Does that make sense, Chase? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Do I sound like just the old man, like the old get off my grass man? Is that what I sound like right now, Chase? What do you think? Tell me. Be honest.
That was funny. No, Christian. I think it's in today's culture, it's all about bling, bling, bling. You can't get away from it, but it's important that people know how to spend their money wisely. Some things it's good to kind of keep to yourself. You don't always have to be all flashy because it could go away like that. And I'm a person like you, Christian. Like I don't spend a lot of money. Like if I have to, I have to. But on the other flip side, like I'm happy, for his mother, and it's something maybe he's worked for a hot minute. We never know the backstory to these kind of things, but it's today's college. We can't really ignore it, and we have to be aware of it and not ignore it either. So, but yeah, it is what it is. You can't really. It's always gonna be two sides to a coin. But I agree. Please save your money. Things deteriorate left and right. Possessions are depending on who you are and your values to these kind of things. But save your money, especially in today's economy and how things are kind of going left and right. Like big purchases, you can wait on it. Unless you're having a midlife crisis, okay. But
listen,
some things just wait on it.
No, you're 100% right. I'll give you guys an example, right? And like, because there's a good balance, and again, it's all about timing and doing it the right way. Like I'm telling you, you can't just saying I need to start one of those investment channels. Maybe I should. I really am passionate about this stuff, and I really wish I could help these guys out. Like, again, like let me just explain the math. $50,000. Say this car is $50,000, right? When we took this big downturn in the market, I kid you not. I mean, I invest. I bought into a company, bought some stock in a company that was beat up that I knew it. I'm already up 30% on that investment. I'm not trying to sit there and get into my personal stuff. I'm just giving you guys an example. 30%. Now, again, that is not typical. We don't typically see that, but that was an opportunity that was here. Given everything with the whole tariff situation, I took advantage of it. That's all I'm saying, because I'm like, the way my mind works, I'm like, man, I love that he did that, but I'm thinking like, man, $50K. And granted, he might not have paid cash. He might be making a payment on it. Might just put a down payment. Who knows? He might have financed it, which actually could be building his credit, which good for him. But if it is cash, again, 50% of $50K, say he went into an aggressive investment and he's up 50% in 3 years, that's up $25K. You take that $25K, all right, cool. You put it half down on that car. That's $25K towards that car in a few years. You get what I'm saying now, Chase? And you still got that $50K. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. And to be clear, let me say this. Most of these guys have financial advisors. They have people that are supposed to be helping them out with that. If they don't, they definitely need to get one. You definitely need to be smart about who you hire. Again, I'm an open resource. These guys know that. I mean, these people up there at the complex know that. If they got any questions, I'd be glad to help them. But it's just so important, man, because what I see nowadays, especially in college, like NFL, we already knew, Chase, like guys were making bad financial decisions. It's easy to get caught up in that, right? I mean, a lot of guys aren't used to having that type of money. They get to the NFL, they're getting these big checks. They're surrounded by women. They're surrounded by opportunity. They're blowing it. Now, I will say I was very fortunate. I learned by example. And my dad don't mind me sharing this. I mean, he preaches his testimony all the time. I watched that dude literally blow all his money, end up flat broke. My dad played 9 years in the NFL. So a lot of this knowledge really probably comes from seeing that firsthand. Like I went from living in, what would have been a multi-million-dollar house in today's, right, because this was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, to literally being with a single mom walking to school. You get what I'm saying? So I've experienced highs and lows, man. And I'm very fortunate for that because it shaped me to who I am and to this type of mentality. But a lot of these guys, I don't think they understand how quickly this stuff can go. And I don't think they really understand this opportunity, because what happens is when you get in a situation like this and you're just thinking like, and all these guys have the same mindset, oh, I'm going to the league. Oh, I'm going to make millions. The reality is only a small percent gets to do that. Even if you make it to the NFL, the average career is 3 years. Once those checks stop coming in, you're not receiving that every month. And I'm telling you, you can ask a guy like my dad. You know how many times he'll sit there and tell all these young guys, if he could go back in time, do you know how much money he blew that he wouldn't have, dude, my dad had every car you could think of. I mean, when I grew up, my dad, before he did all what he did, that man had Ferraris, that man had Hummers, Jaguars, Benz, you name it, Escalades with 24 spinners, literally everything you could think of, jewelry. Guess where he ended up at 5 years, not even 5 years after he was done. Without a house, without a family, and no money. So, to be fair, again, I'm not trying to take this young man and what he did for his mom and say like, oh, that's no. I'm offering my thoughts on it, and I feel like this is a good opportunity to fill people in and give them an idea and some knowledge on other ways to really go about this whole thing. That's all that is. I would love to hear y'all's responses. Am I being the get off my grass type of guy? Am I raining on the parade of him buying his mom a car, or do y'all think I'm like, all right, we get what you're saying, Christian? Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. 205-342-9904. is the number, or you can always respond here. I'm going to read you guys your responses here in the chat, plus you can drop them in that @ message. We come back, we'll keep on rolling. Plus, I still want to dive into the Coach Saban golf tournament, his thoughts on the whole commission thing. He had some more eye-opening thoughts. We're going to discuss that and more, all coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. All right, guys, be honest with me, man. Am I being the cranky old man here? I don't think I really think I'm just trying to, it's coming from a good place, man. And again, I'm not trying to use him as an example or say he did anything wrong, so to speak. I just thought it was a good opportunity to really talk about this stuff because we're seeing more and more, not just the buying a car thing, but we're seeing like these guys having this type of money. And I'm like, the stuff I'm seeing that, I mean, just these guys just go through money, guys. And I'm like, so many other ways you could go about it. But again, I get it, they're young, man. They're not used to just having, I mean, could y'all imagine? Like, imagine just going from you being in high school 1 minute, then like a year later, you're getting direct deposit like $30,000 every month. I mean, that's the reality for some of these guys. I mean, so to be fair, I mean, when people hear that, they're like, oh, it's no big deal. I mean, he can go do that. But to me, it's more about the principle of it, man. But again, and I don't know this whole situation. He might have everything else invested and said, I just want to leave out a little piece just to do this for my mom. But guys, I don't want y'all to think I'm a pocket watcher. I don't want y'all to judge me. But let me see something real quick. Of course, it's acting funny. I'm not trying to be funny, but also on the car, I feel bad. I do not want to feel like I'm going at somebody or holding their business. But I'm not going to lie to you. That appears to be a Louis Vuitton bag. And if I'm not mistaken, those look like Louis Vuitton earrings too, man. She very well could have bought that stuff. And again, that's their business. I'm just saying, if it is something where somebody's spending money like that stuff's not cheap, man. Anyway, I'm not trying to be a pocket watcher. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm keeping it real, man. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Hey, we already about to come back from break. That's quick. See, Bam, I see you. What's up, man? I agree, Christian. Having financial wisdom comes from a bit more maturity than these kids can. 100%. And I understand that part, that they're not going to, they're so young, they're not necessarily going to be in this position to really understand a lot of that. But that's why I just try my best to try to pass it along. All right, Kenji agrees. You see where Milroe got his NFL bag yesterday. It's only a little more than what USC just offered Keelan to leave Bam in the past.
Is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, we were talking about the big purchase by Keelan Russell. Again, shout out to him, man, and awesome that he's thoughtful enough to do that for his mom. Obviously, you guys heard me give my financial advice side of it, so I'm done with that. Don't worry. Hopefully, you guys, at least maybe somebody got something from it, though. But Southern had a good point. She's in the comments section. She said, did you see where Milroe got his NFL bag yesterday? It's only a little more than what USC just offered Keelan to leave Bama in the last portal window. Point of view. Well, let's look at Milroe's. I'll share this real quick so you guys can see it. His contract, $6.26 million contract. But this is one thing that I don't think everybody understands about NFL contracts. They're not fully guaranteed. No, they're not. Now, the first rounders, you'll see, yes, they'll sign first rounders, and I don't think every single one of them, but you'll see some first rounders with their fully guaranteed contracts. Outside of that, guys, they're not guaranteed. So when you see, like, for example, I'm seeing all over the place, like, and everybody knows this is going to get clicks. Deion's kids, right? Shador, Shiloh, they went through rookie minicamp. They signed their rookie deals. Everybody's like, Deion's, kids, blah, 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 signed their contract. 4 years, $4 million. And everybody's like, oh, and he was only scheduled, or he was on, I guess on 3, evaluated at making like $6 million or something. It's even more of a difference because that $4 million is not guaranteed. I'll give you an example. So Jalen signed for a $6.6 million contract, including a $1.19 million signing bonus. That's the only guarantee, guys. Okay, so the guarantee, so yes, he gets that $1.19 million regardless. That's his. But the rest of it, that's over the course of the 4-year deal. And that's including like the salary, which the rookie salary is all the same. Let me look it up because it's changed. When I was playing, it was around like $495. Nowadays, it should be around $800. It's slowly going up, I believe. Let me see. What is it now? I want to say it was up to like 800. It was up to around like 800 or so for like the rookie side, because all rookies pretty much make the same thing. Of course, this is not showing it right now, which is really weird because normally with all this damn AI and all this stuff, it's pretty easy to pull stuff up. Anyway, you get my point though. So these guys get the signing bonus, but then when they make the roster, and even when you make the roster, it's not you say, oh, they go, all right, you get that whole year salary. No, the NFL pays on a weekly basis. So that salary is divided up by however many weeks, 17 weeks, whatever it is. And what they do is they pay you that on a weekly basis. So, for example, and then the reason they do that is because if you get cut, you don't get that anymore. The contract's terminated. So that's what you also have to remember about NFL deals, man. It's different than NBA, MLB. There's not many guaranteed contracts in the NFL. And that's a whole another reason why I'm explaining the way I am about the whole saving, because they cut you, something happens, you're not on the team, whatever the case may be. Who knows? You never know. You get hurt. Sometimes, man, you're in a bad spot and you just immediately go from getting all that money, and then it's kind of like gone. So there's that. But yeah. Let's matter of fact, while we're on this topic, before we change subject, Tia left the app message, Chase. I'm assuming it's regarding this. Are we just going to combine breaks right here? Is that all right that we do that?
Yeah, we can combine breaks.
Yeah, because I went way over, and I don't want to just split it up and come back for a short. Let's go ahead and see what T had to say, because I'm assuming it had to do with that. And then once we finish up this conversation, we're going to move on to the whole deal with Coach Saban, his tournament, and his thoughts. But yeah, what did T have to say in that app inbox message?
Yeah, she said, I wanted to know if you had a chance to watch the SEC Network's All In Alabama Spring Football episode number 1. I found it a bit dry and dull, definitely not as good as the Fox News one we had watched. As a fan, would you have preferred a spring game over this series? Also, Christian, I get your point, but I think it's a battle of the worst situation with Keelan Russell. We both know some guys spend their NIL money on strippers and OnlyFans models. So even though Lord Tia. So even though you're big on finance, we know he could have spent his money in worse ways. I get what you're saying, though. I don't think you were knocking him.
Okay, well, good. As long as I'm coming from a place y'all don't think, because I promise I'm not trying to do that. I would never. Again, even the guys that spend all their money on jewelry and vehicles, I'm not trying to pocket watch. You guys can do what you want. I just always encourage guys to do the other thing that's a lot less attractive. It doesn't sound fun, but because I just know, I'm telling you, a few years down the road, you be like, damn, I wish I listened to Christian, man. I wish I would have listened to Christian, because I promise you, man. Promise you. But there's a good balance. You shouldn't just be so cheap, because I find myself in that boat where sometimes I'm so cheap that I don't enjoy myself enough. So there always is a good balance. But in terms of that documentary, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not get a chance to see it yet. So I'm not going to act like I did. You got me wanting to see why you thought it was boring, though. Yeah, it's interesting. But I'll try to go back and watch it. I don't know how to necessarily do that because it was on SEC Network, but I missed it. And I think I'm not going to lie, Chase. You know we love wrestling, man. I think I was watching Monday Night Raw. I'm just going to be straight up. I was watching. That's my weekly thing, man. I love wrestling, so I was watching wrestling, and yeah, I got caught up. So I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to go back and watch it and see why you thought it was like that. But appreciate that message. All right, let's move on to this Coach Saban golf tournament. Again, he spoke to the media. Let me see if I can find it, though. Probably should have done that a second ago. But anyway, the reason I want to bring it back up is I know we've been talking a little bit about the whole commission thing, but every time he talks about it again, it seems like it becomes more and more like he's just kind of like, hey, man, here's the deal. We know how to fix it. I don't think we need it. Chase, he's literally leading with, I don't think we need a commission. It's just kind of confusing to me, Chase, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm like, I mean, maybe he should have just turned it down, and maybe he should have said, I don't really want to be a part of a commission, but I'm happy to help. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, he keeps repeating himself like, hey, man, I don't think we need a commission. We know what needs to be done. We just need to do it. And then he kind of goes on to about, we just got to get the people to step up. I'm just being honest. It sounds like he's not really too fond of this whole thing. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying like he wasn't. How would you explain this? I don't even know how I would explain this. I'm not saying that he wasn't filled in on everything, but it sounds like maybe they kind of went a lot further along and a lot quicker than maybe he was anticipating. Chase, do we have the audio from him speaking at his Knicks kids, or do I just need to read it? I don't see anything on. Did you find anything? Any audio of that?
I have the full audio.
Is it about 7 minutes?
Yeah, it's around 7.
Could we see? I see. Okay, I got it here right now. Okay, I got it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and run it. Then we'll run it to the top of the break, and then we'll respond on the other side. How about that? So let's go ahead and Nick Saban spoke, because he also spoke about the football team expectations. Ty Simpson came up. So let's go ahead and hear this. And I know we're about to hit this top of the hour break, but I'll play it on my end, Chase, so don't you worry about it. I got you, man. Just ignore the mug shots below this video. Here, okay, I'll zoom in. All right, here we go. Here's Coach Saban speaking at his Knicks kids golf tournament yesterday in Birmingham, Alabama.
Good. Well, it's great to be here. This is one of the days that we look forward to, each and every year. We're so proud that so many people, support Knicks kids. We'll have Coach Oates here, Coach DeBoer, Coach Sewell, Mark Ingram's coming in for this. And then we have, a core group of people who've supported this for years and years and years. We've been able to make great contributions to the community, whether it's the 21 houses that we build, the school with the juvenile detention center, the playgrounds throughout the communities, and also the $100 million children's learning center that we're doing right now, which is going to be a STEM hub for teachers all over the state. Provide education for them to take back to the students, and occupational opportunity exposure for a lot of young people to decide what they do in my country. So we're always pleased and excited to be able to give back to the community. There were so many people who supported us for so many years that we're just always excited to be able to give back to the community in a way.
Questions? The Emmy Awards for tonight. What was your reaction to being nominated for the Sports Emmy?
People, but it was a new experience. A lot of people, helped contribute to learning how to do it. I certainly appreciate them and thank them for that. And we had a really good team of people who had lots of experience that I think helped me fit into the program, and hopefully we created some value. So it's always an honor to be nominated for anything, but there's always so many people that contribute to it.
You mentioned Mark Ingram's going to be here. Do you have a favorite Mark Ingram story?
I have several. But, the guy won the Heisman Trophy. So he plays me in golf. And he won shots. I mean, how could that be? And he's supposed to be an outstanding
You mentioned your relationship with Coach Oates. If you're into your tenure as the head coach in Alabama, you're going to more basketball games. He's obviously had so much success. What's your relationship with him, and how has it continued to grow over the years?
Well, we want to support all University of Alabama athletic teams. We try to help them recruit everywhere we can. game. We've helped make through the years, tried to recruit some players. I think we've done a phenomenal job. I think you have a mutual respect, coach to coach, in terms of trying to share experiences and how you could help someone be more successful, especially if they have issues in college. I always go talk to the team every year. So, I appreciate those kind of opportunities. We've always been about helping young people be more successful in life, and that's certainly something that we'll continue to do for all students.
Hey, Nick, obviously Ty Simpson is a name that's been on the radar of Alabama football fans. I'm wondering what your impression of him was during his recruitment and what he's brought to the Alabama quarterback. Ty Simpson, what your impression of him was during the recruiting process and kind of how he developed.
Ty was an outstanding high school player, no doubt. He's a fine young man. I think his example is a true example of development. It's true that for 2 years, his experience has been successful, and we're rooting for him, that's for sure. And I have every confidence that he'll do a great job.
Couple more. Coach, you played golf with Charles last week. He said it was the first time you guys had played. How was it playing with him? And he was pretty outspoken about fixing college sports. If you were to get involved, did he give you any advice out there?
I got lots of advice. I love Charles. He does a great job. Not only is, he sets a really good example in the community because he's given a lot back to the community as well. I think he's supported college athletics. How he analyzes situations. He's got a great personality, so he's fun to play with. It's a really good experience.
Coach, there's conversations about expanding the playoff format. Do you agree with it?
We've talked about this before. Back in the years, I was never for expanding the playoff because I thought bowl games were really important to the history and the tradition of college football. But now the bowl games have taken place. So I think expanding the playoff and having as many teams involved as we can without playing too many games for the players. I think that's a little bit of a concern. It's probably a good thing.
But how do you respond to maybe the public perception that you're staying involved with college football because you're not anti-NIL?
I'm not anti-NIL. I'm all for the players, making money. I don't think we have a sustainable system right now. I think a lot of people would agree with that. In terms of the future of college athletics, period, not just football. How do we sustain 20 other non-revenue sports that create lots of opportunities for people in the future? And, I know there's been a lot of stuff out there about some commission or whatever. I don't think we need a commission. I've said that before. I think we know what the issues are. I think we just have to have people who are willing to move those and solve those and create some solutions for some of those issues. I'm all for being a consultant to anybody who, would think that my experience would be beneficial to helping create some of those solutions. I know, President Trump is very interested in athletics. He's very interested in college athletics. He's very interested in, maintaining the idea that, people go to college to create value for the future in terms of how they develop as people, students, graduation rate, as well as, having a balanced, competitive marketplace. So if I can be a consultant to anyone, we might be able to help the future of college athletics. I would be more than happy to do that.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
And there you have it. That was head coach Nick Saban speaking at his Knicks Kids event there. Oh, let me turn that off. Whoops. All right. That being said, we got to hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, we will continue things and keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.
All right, so when we come back, we'll break that down. Sorry, I was the audio was still playing on my end, even though it wasn't coming to you guys. And I was like, "Whoa," kind of confused for a second. All right, let's see what we got. Real life advice coming from a good place. These guys won't listen to being frugal. Yeah. I mean, no, I definitely just come from a good place, but yeah, I'm definitely frugal, man. I'm literally the definition of it. But yeah, what'd you guys think about that? So obviously, the last question was the one we were talking about. It's just interesting. It's kind of like he's like, I said it and I'll say it again. I don't think we need a commission. I'm happy to help anybody. I really, the more I hear from him, the more I'm starting to kind of get an idea on like what it was. It sounds like he was approached about the whole matter. Obviously, he's like, yeah, I'd like to help, or I'd be more than happy to help, offer my resources, just like you just said. And then probably, Trump side, the administration side went ahead and ran with, hey, we're just going to go ahead. We'll make a commission. We'll just put you as a co-chair. You can offer, your thoughts, this and that. And he probably just like, yeah, he's thinking he's helping just from like, a consultation standpoint, like he just was mentioning. They're, advertising as this grand commission to fix things. As you guys know, I mean, in politics, a lot of it's about impressing the people, and well, it's not always like that, but we know in today's politics, a lot of it is about, hey, let's roll this out and really, you know what I mean, do it this way. But that's what it sounds like to me. So those are my thoughts. I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on that. Maybe he signed on to prevent bad policies from coming to fruition, but maybe Saban's repeating the message for Trump to hear as much as anyone. We know Saban has done so in the past. I thought, yeah, no, I mean, it definitely could be. To me, in another part of the message is you can tell from a PR perspective, we know how this is nowadays. I mean, when you align with anybody in terms of policy or politics, you can receive a whole hell of a lot of backlash, criticism, all that stuff. So you can tell that's why he's saying, I'm more than happy to provide anyone with this type of thing, because you can tell he's trying to, which I don't blame him. I hate to say it like that, but I don't blame him nowadays. I mean, if people find, they'll hold it against him just for literally trying to help college football out, just because he's linked to an administration's commission. Has nothing to do with anything else other than that. But you guys know how people are, man. Poor Saban, he's had to repeat the current response so many times. He doesn't dislike NIL while he retired ETC. Yeah, and then I don't know, like. And I said this before he even said it, and he's reiterated it. A lot of people still just believe that the whole thing is, NIL got to him and he was sick of it. That's why he retired. No, guys. No. I mean, was that another layer to his job that was created when NIL rolled out because he was now having to re-recruit people? Yeah, but it all boils down to him being. How old is he now? Like 70s, right? However old he is. But if you guys just really knew like how hard that dude works, man, like there's no like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, taking a back seat. I mean, the way Coach Saban, did this process, man. I mean, like you're talking about first one in the building, last one to leave, and doing all that.
205.
Not to mention having to travel. Well, he travels for his job now, but it's a little bit different type of travel versus recruiting and being on the road and communicating. Like it was just too much. And he probably wanted to enjoy his family, man. Hell, even as a player, I didn't even have half the stuff he had to do, and I'm telling you, I didn't even have time to do anything. So I can imagine him.
Cooler, the high 78.
He didn't have time
James
to do anything.
Spann on the ABC 3040 Weather Center on Tide.
Especially when you start getting older like that, man. He missed out on all the time with his family, man. I think that really was just the main thing. I don't think.
Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Hope everybody's doing well. We capped off hour number 1 with that Coach Saban interview. A little hard to hear him at times. The wind was blowing. Ced was in the background socializing. Everybody knows Ced, man. You know that he's going to be talking, but golf carts drive. But anyway, we got to hear him talk about a number of things. He mentioned a couple things, so we'll go ahead and break that down. Again, if you guys got any thoughts on anything that we've been discussing or that specifically, make sure you guys drop us a chat message, app message, or a phone call, 205-342-9904. One of the earlier things he talked about, Chase, was Ty Simpson. He got asked a question about him. His response was Ty was an outstanding high school player, no doubt. He's a fine young man. I think he's a true example of development. Those experiences are probably going to help him be successful. We're rooting for him, that's for sure. He'll do a great job. So sounds like Coach Saban's confident in Ty Simpson, as I'd imagine we all are. I think he's going to do a really good job myself. Obviously, Coach Saban recruited him, knows a lot about him, spent a lot of time around him. Again, he competed in 2 quarterback battles with Coach Saban. Was it 1 or 2? 2, technically, right? I'm drawing a blank, guys. Sorry, it's been a long day. Anyway, so Coach Saban knows a lot about him. He feels confident in the young man. And so a lot of people are excited to hear about that. Anytime Coach Saban signs off on a guy, obviously you feel good about it. And we all know it's not like he would go out there and say anything bad. But to me, you can tell, right? You can tell, Chase, at least I've been able to tell, when he's like, you're never going to hear him like down, like say anything bad about a player or down a player, but you can tell a difference of like him actually trying to praise somebody or just basically kind of getting at like, I'm just trying to say something that's not going to down him. But anyway, he did speak highly of Ty, so a lot of people were excited about that. Obviously, in regards to the commission thing, he said it again. I don't think we need a commission. I think we just need the people in the right place to do the right things. We'll see what comes from it. I'll be honest, Chase, I'm starting to kind of lose confidence that there really is going to even be this whole commission. I think it's going to end up kind of dissolving, if I'm being completely honest with you. It sounds like he's not really down for the whole title of it, commission of it. He's just like, hey, man, let me tell you guys what needs to be done. You guys then put into place what needs to be done, legislation, bills, whatever that needs to be from a federal level, whatever it is, and then let's handle it and be done with it. That's kind of what I'm getting at, or what I'm hearing from him, in my opinion. I'm curious to see what y'all think. Is that kind of what you would say, Chase, is the deal with him? He kind of just comes off like he's like, man, I don't want the attention to the commission. I just want to give my advice and y'all do what y'all do. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah, I would agree too. And again, in regards to Coach Saban, while we're still on it, just a reminder, if you missed it, he did win an Emmy, a sports Emmy for outstanding personality and emerging on-air talent. So shout out to him. This is Saban's first sports Emmy Award win and ESPN's second win in this category. So there you go. Shout out to Coach Saban and the job that he is doing over with his job in the media and ESPN and all that good stuff as well. In terms of his expectations for next season, this is what he had to say. I don't really have an expectation. I know these guys are working hard to do the best they can. It was a difficult transition with the number of players that moved. New system, new people, players in the organization had to make adjustments. So I would say that everybody's probably a lot more settled in this year, and I hope they do, extremely well. So I agree with him, and that's what I've been saying in terms of how things just feel a little bit different when you really look at this team and you think about everything that they had to pretty much go through, and not making it seem like they had to go through like it's the worst thing ever, but it obviously was strenuous and it wasn't easy. And obviously Coach Saban is acknowledging that here, that they had a lot going on last year and people do feel settled. I agree. Just being around them this spring, everything feels a lot more settled. There's a lot higher of a buy-in, in my opinion. Coaches feel more comfortable and understanding of what to expect. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer, same thing. A lot of players feel that way. And I think in turn, we will see a lot more success. Now, we spent some time last week looking at schedules and other teams, stuff like that. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, these other teams are going to be improving. There's going to be some trials and challenges in the road. But I would argue that they're probably in a much better position going into this year than they probably were last year, given everything that Coach Saban had just mentioned. So there's that. I want to dive into this talk. So again, if you guys got any comments on that, feel free to drop it. But in terms of this whole Olympic thing, again, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but I want to bring this up. We only have, again, about 30, 35 minutes or so because we're going to get out of here like 15 minutes early because baseball is scheduled to play, so we will pick up the coverage. But segueing into this, Chase, this was really interesting to me. Again, I was trying to figure the whole deal out. Oh, what's up, G-Bam? I see you in here. What's up, man? NFL has agreed to basically allow NFL players to participate in the Olympics, which is big news. The IOC welcomes the decision by the NFL and its clubs to support NFL players in their desire to compete in flag football at the Olympic Games LA 28, and very much appreciates the overall backing NFL is giving the flag football, given to flag football and the Olympic Games LA 28. I mean, I don't know why else they wouldn't. And really, if they didn't back this, you really wouldn't even have a whole flag football thing, really. But anyway, shout out to them, I guess. This landmark decision will allow for the participation of the best American football players in the world at the Olympic Games. All those involved in reaching this milestone, including NFL team owners and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, deserve applause for this excellent result. We also welcome the enthusiastic responses from the players, many of whom have already expressed their strong motivation to take part in the Olympic Games and embrace this rare and prestigious opportunity to become Olympians. The IOC continues to work with NFL, the International Federation of American Football, and the organizing committee of the Olympic Games LA 28 to make the flag football tournament of LA 28 an outstanding success. What do y'all think about this, man? Chase, I'm gonna throw it to you first, man. So there's a clip of people breaking this stuff down, but and I'll play that here in a minute. But I mean, we're now going to see flag football in the Olympics. How interesting is that to you? Number two, what do you think about the idea of having these NFL guys participating in it? I know immediately people are going to say, "Oh, what about injuries, stuff like that?" Always a possibility. I mean, but to be fair, I mean, NBA guys go and compete in the Olympics, and this is like flag. Now, if it was like real full-fledged tackle football, definitely would probably say, there's no way these owners are allowing it. But I feel like the owners are like, it's flag football. It's for the Olympics. We'll let it ride. At least see how it goes. What are your thoughts, Chase? Do you think this lasts, and how excited are you about this?
I'm really excited, actually. I think it'll grow the NFL in ways that people aren't really seeing, right? You look at one, if people are saying, well, it's going to be injuries and it's putting player safety in risk, why do we have a Pro Bowl? Like, we're doing the exact same thing every year. Some people take it seriously, some people don't, but their injury factor is still there. So I'm like, if it's happening there, why not happen globally so everybody gets to eat, And then you never know who's out there internationally that just can't really see the NFL like that. So it grows from country to country, continent to continent. I feel like it's just going to bring so much more revenue and so much awareness to what the NFL is, because there's some people that just don't know what the NFL is. And especially the players we see on Sundays regularly, some people just don't see that. So I think it would be good in that aspect. And then you get to see kind of like different styles of football. American football is what it is, but some people play it differently in terms of like how they run, how they catch, different tactics, play calling systems. It's just, there's so much out there than just this glass box we live in America. Like, I think it would be pretty cool. And I don't know, like the future is bright if this continues, especially in LA. Like, that is kind of the mecca of like entertainment and, what could grow from this. You never know if like YouTubers, streamers, like can get involved with this kind of stuff.
Oh, God.
I know.
Are you talking about like destroying or something?
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah, well, I think I saw, and I'm going to pull up more information, and we're going to listen to a clip when we come back. But I think they said something about like one player per team or something like that. So I'd imagine there's probably going to be some other slots. I mean, I'm assuming there's probably some type of flag football league. There is one, because I saw a clip on a guy that was like throwing all these touchdowns. They'll probably be paired up with a lot of those guys, but I wonder if it could open the door for somebody like a destroying. Who knows? Let's do this. Let's take a quick timeout, Chase. When we come back, we're definitely going to dive into this video, breaking it down real quick. Love to get y'all's thoughts on it. Real quick before we do go to break, let me remind you about our friends over at R&R Cigars. If you're in the market for the best cigars that you can put your hands on, look no further than R&R Cigars. rnrcigars.com, 20% off of any 20 cigars. Build your perfect selection, mix and match any 20 cigars to suit your taste right there. Check out the website. I'm telling you, you can bundle them up. Great gift idea. You got Father's Day coming up. Also, free shipping on orders $100 or more. And even better, if you're in Tuscaloosa, if you're ever in the area for a game, you live here, whatever, you're passing on by, stop by the mansion, 2703 6th Street. You can take advantage of all these great deals in person. The best humidor in the Southeast, wraparound porch to hang out, kick back, relax, watch your favorite sporting events, go watch the baseball tournament there with a nice cigar, or your choice of one or more of 160 bourbons. Yes, 160 bourbons that they have for you to choose from right there at R&R Cigars. So don't miss out on it. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, right here in Tuscaloosa, or rnrcigars.com. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. Quick timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling right here. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC, and on YouTube. We'll be right back. All right, Q. Appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Time change is killing you. Hey, like I said, when our choices had to adjust and adapt, but good news is you can always go back and listen, which is cool. Here, obviously, all the podcast platforms. If you guys aren't able to get on YouTube, remember we are doing the show live on radio. You can download the app, Tide 100.9. That's our station. Or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that. Any platform service you can find the reruns and all that stuff. But obviously, we encourage you to watch live on here. Again, we're trying to grow the channel, get some more stuff going, and getting some stuff going for you guys in the future. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna play that video here in a second. But yeah, I think they said something about one guy per team will be able to participate. It's cool though. Again, I know it's like my whole identity now, learning the Spanish thing. But a lot of my friends that I've met, they live in Latin America, various parts around the world, but they don't really know much about football, but they always want to learn. So I think it would be a good opportunity to help kind of expand and grow the game. Obviously, that's one of the key things that the NFL wants to do, given that each year they're playing more and more games overseas. I had the experience to go play overseas. Played in London. We played Tampa Bay over in London, and I grew up. I played soccer. So I knew a little bit about football, like soccer. And I say that because we got to play in the Tottenham Stadium. So we played a game over in that stadium, big soccer stadium. When I tell you, it was probably the coolest experience, man. Really, really cool stuff. And now, because before when they first started these overseas games, mostly Europe, like that. And now, I mean, Mexico, Brazil, Germany. Where else? Obviously, London still. I think they added something else too, though. But it's crazy, man. Really cool stuff that they're expanding the game. But I would love for it to get to the point where, like, we see like the same level of competition in other countries. Obviously, I know there's always probably going to be a big difference, right? You look at the NBA. Clearly, there's a difference there, even though basketball is very prevalent in other countries. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it would be cool to see other countries kind of start gaining some ground with football like that, like we see with basketball. Soccer, they've got it. they've got it on us in soccer. We're getting a little bit better though.
Hey, I'm James Spann on the ABC 30-40 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 82 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, we're talking about this whole thing. The Olympics now allowing NFL players, or I should say the NFL will allow NFL players to participate in the 2028 Olympics in L.A. So let's go ahead and hear a clip from Tom Pelissero and Judy Batista break this down.
Well, they voted on flag football yesterday that NFL players are going to be allowed to participate in the Olympics. There are some restrictions. We should be clear. Your entire team is not going to disappear to Los Angeles for the Summer Olympics. One player per team per country is the restriction right now.
But win a gold medal for your country. We also had Brian Asamoah, his teammate from the Vikings here, who is getting the national team going in Ghana. It was just part of a tryout camp. There's a lot of talent around the world. Go back to 1992. There were not a lot of countries that could compete with Team USA in basketball. But watching Charles Barkley dunk on people from Angola inspired a lot of people. And that's where you get the Dirk Nowitzkis and others. Perhaps this is the NFL's opportunity to take the sport global and have a similar type of an effect. Today, we get into some of the tackle football playing rules changes, including the one that Kyle mentioned on the tush push. The Packers filed a new version of their proposal to ban the tush push on Monday night. And Judy, it's much broader. This very much mirrors the rule from back that was on the books from the start of the NFL in 1920 all the way through 2005, banning all instances of pushing or pulling the runner in any direction, among other things here. It's a way for the Packers and the league to say this is not specifically about the tush push, but there are a couple of reasons that the league specifically believes that that play is problematic.
Well, number one, there's a whole contingent of people who say this just is not a football play. That's one thing. The other thing is the health and safety issue. Dr. Alan Sills, the chief medical officer for the NFL, went to the competition committee and said, there's no injury data now. That's just a matter of luck. Fortunately, nobody has been hurt. But the fear on this play is that the forces being generated by the pushing is that it would cause his word, not mine, catastrophic injury. And he said to them, do you want to wait for a catastrophic injury to happen and then you have to react to it? Or do you want to be proactive and get the play out of the game now? Back in the March meeting, when the rule was much more specifically written, it was not as broadly written as it's going to be today. There were 16 votes in favor of banning it. That's still 8 short of approval. That's a lot of arm twisting that has to take place. Having said that, it's clear that the league wants this play out of the game, and that counts for a lot. If Roger Goodell is doing the arm twisting with the owners, I would expect that this vote might be pretty close, though, because there is still a contingent of people, including a lot of coaches in the league, who say, listen, the Philadelphia Eagles are really successful with this play. It's incumbent on us to stop it. There are a few other matters that are going to be considered too, including reseeding the playoffs, which is.
So we can stop there. So obviously it segued into the tush push thing, which we didn't even get into yet, which we can segue into that a little bit here in a second. But in terms of following up with the flag football chase, when they say one person per team per country, now obviously you have to have some type of citizenship, right, to be able to represent that country. Or are they saying they're going to loan player? Which I don't think so. Did that kind of confuse you? Or I guess they're saying, like, the reason I'm confused, Chase, is because, like, there's not many guys in the NFL with, like, roots to too many other countries. Like, there's only, like, a handful. Like, you've got guys from some African countries, though, like, from, like, that program that they have. You do have a couple guys from, I don't even know if they made, like, 53-man rosters, but I know maybe there's a guy, like, from Brazil, Australia. I'm trying to think, but you get what I'm saying. There's not a whole bunch of guys from other countries, so that kind of confused me. And then with the one player per team, so it sounds like obviously the U.S. is going to be made up of probably the best guys, and there might be a few guys that have some roots to, I don't know, or unless they say, like, if I'm not mistaken, if you do have that, let me think. I got to go back and look at the rules, man, because I was going to say, what if somebody's parent is from, like, France? Like, would they allow them, even though they're born here? Would they allow them? I can't remember the Olympic rules. If you guys know it in the chat, let me know. Sorry, I'm a little slow when it comes to this stuff. I don't know a whole bunch about the Olympics, but that was a little confusing. I will say, if I was, which I played outside linebacker. I don't know why they'd really need me out there, but if I got a chance to go play for a gold medal, hell yeah, I'm doing it. I mean, dude, winning the national championship was cool. Obviously, everybody wants to win a Super Bowl, but to say, like, you won a gold medal, man, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Even if it's flag football, that's really cool. And like, who doesn't like flag football, man? Like, who did y'all not grow up in playing flag football or ultimate football? in gym and class and all that stuff. Man, that's fun, man. I love that kind of stuff. So you wouldn't have to convince me. I definitely would be doing. In terms of the tush push, which they led into, which we can go ahead and just bring that up, right? It ended up, I'm pretty sure this video came out before the official vote came in. The official vote did come in, and there was no, what do you call it, Chase? They got shot down, right? So it still is, it got voted down. So the tush push is still on the table. I was listening to what she was saying, and she was referencing, I guess, like people's thoughts. I forgot who she said it, but like, oh, are we going to wait for a catastrophe to happen? I'll be honest, guys. Let me give you my football perspective on the tush push. Is it a very difficult play to stop? Absolutely. It really is just a modified QB sneak, and I get it. You got the guys, behind adding more force when they're pushing Jalen in there or whoever tries to run it. But I'll be honest with you, man, in terms of like coming off like that, like, yeah, there is more risk because we always say this in football. You see the most injuries when guys are on the ground. And what we mean by that is anytime guys are getting folded up, falling on the ground, that's when you have knees and ankles, potentially, being stuck in the grass and they're getting bent and a lot of weight coming down. I mean, you do, probably worry about the force of somebody coming off if, in this particular play, I mean, it's all about leverage and the lowest man wins. Got to make sure guys are coming off the ball with their head up. That way you're not risking a neck injury. But again, these guys are pros, man. And to me, I don't know. I don't really think it like, and clearly a lot of people also agree that they're shooting down the rule just because it's like, it might be annoying. It might seem unfair, but it's football, man. Football is a physical sport. And again, it's a QB sneak, but they just have the guys pushing from behind. Chase, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, offensive linemen do it all the time when a running back, he gets, tangled up for a second with a defender. He's not quite going down. How many times do we see linemen come running in full speed? I would argue now, again, they're technically not supposed to do it a certain way. They allow them to push some, but they're not supposed to just fly and just throw their bodies, which they do anyway. That, in my opinion, is much more dangerous, Chase, than worrying about this, because this, you're coming from like a short distance. When those linemen, a guy that's 330 pounds is running full speed, and they will call like unnecessary roughness. I've seen them called on like Booker before. That's more dangerous to somebody like me as a defender. I'm wrapped up on a running back or receiver, whatever. I'm trying to make a tackle. I'm stationary. So I'm driving my feet, of course, but I'm stationary. I'm a sitting duck for a 330 pounder to come running full speed and ear hole me, hit me. I mean, I broke my elbow in high school, matter of fact, because one of my own teammates was trying to tackle the same guy I was tackling. He drove his helmet into my arm. That type of stuff to me is much more of a risk versus, you being mano-a-mano in a tush push. And yeah, they're going to have a little bit more force, but hell, have the linebackers push the defensive lineman, equal out the force a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll get into a little bit more detail there, but we do only have one last segment because we're getting out here 15 minutes early, so we got a break at 45. We've got Ragged on the phone lines. We'll get to him. We got an @ message to hit, and we'll wrap things up all on the other side of this. Quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Title 100.9, 1230 WTBC, and live on YouTube. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across.
Shout out to Andrew Sports Medicine, one of our sponsors. All right. A proposed ban of the tush push failed on Wednesday at the NFL owners meeting. Proposed prohibition of the polarizing short yardage play failed on a 22-10 vote, which will allow quarterbacks to continue to be aided by teammates when plunging into the line. Let's see. Former center Jason Kelsey, one of the players who fueled the success of tush put to the meetings in Minnesota. Owners did approve modifications to the kickoff, which was drastically redone before last season. After the tush push vote was taken, the Eagles posted a picture on. So yeah, I saw that push on. So not much there. So 22-10 vote. Coincidentally, the same as the vote totals on the proposed ban. I think from the score of the Philadelphia Wild Card game over Green Bay was 22-10, the same as the vote total. I appreciate that, Southern. Yeah, man, absolutely. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys click that like button. That always helps us out. Click the like button, subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed. Again, we do this Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. All the support, man, we appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. And then, again, we'll start doing some more stuff in the future, too. Around football season, remember, we used to do, like, the post-game show, stuff like that. Obviously, I do a post-game show on the network, but maybe we'll hop on here and do a little pregame or something. Who knows? I don't know. We'll figure something out. But we're going to throw some more content at you. And we're just getting warmed up. I'm going to start getting some more interviews and stuff on here, too. Get some of these guys. If you guys got any suggestions on guys you want to hear from, man, let me know. We had one guy who's like, hey, I want to hear from Tim Keenan. Brought him on here the next day. On radio. Before we started live streaming again. So yeah, if you guys ever want me to try to get some of these player interviews, just let me know. I just like getting who you guys want. And it can be former or current, by the way.
Wallace Boulevard.
Oh, man.
100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Last segment of the day because we got to get out of here a little early just because baseball is about to take on Tennessee at 1, I believe. So that being said, Chase, let's go ahead and roll things out as they come. We had an app message first. So let's hit that app message. I believe we had one from, was it Mike in Huntsville? Let's see what Mike had to say.
Yes, he said, honestly, I've always wondered why you were so passionate about guys wearing chains and things. At times, I felt like you put them down because they weren't like you. Now, with telling a personal story, I get it now. You don't want people to go through what your dad did. I think you have to be mindful still how it comes across, like you mentioned Keelan Russell, mom wearing Louis Vuitton. You can't let your passion make people tune out the message altogether. My mom used to tell me this quote that goes, timing is everyone. The right message at the wrong time is the wrong message.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why it would come off like, I was putting them down for wearing chains. I never pocket watch. People can do what they want. Hell, I mean, you guys can see, I have a necklace. I don't have a big diamond pendant on there, but I have a necklace that I wear. Strategically, I bought a gold necklace because I know that gold increases in value. But yeah, and then you hear my personal story, it probably makes more sense. But yeah, again, just to be clear, it's never to put anybody down, to judge anybody. Again, it's people's lives. You guys know me. I mean, I'm not worried about other people like that. Trust me. But it really comes from a good place because I understand both sides of things. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, being here at one point to going to here and then making my opportunity with the help of my parents and coaches and countless other, people in my support system and understanding, how I've gone about it. Again, I'm not saying this to flex or anything. I have more money than I made in the NFL right now. That's not a flex or anything. It's just because of how I've handled it. And I'm very fortunate to say that. By the age of 25, I pretty much retired. I didn't have to. And obviously, I got a great head start, but I didn't participate in NFL. I didn't have some long, crazy NFL career because I, by choice, walked away with everything I had going on. After I was done with the Panthers, I transitioned, outside of playing football. Again, that's not a flex. That's not to act like I'm better than anybody or putting it on these guys. Like, no, it's an example of if you do things the right way, you can really set yourself up. So yeah, and then that's where again, I'm passionate about it just because I understand, man. It's not even just these players. If we want to be honest with you, right now in society, we just have a problem with a lot of stuff. And one of the things is everybody does everything for the approval of others. And I wish people realize it doesn't matter. Everything's about social media, getting likes, clicks. People are so worried about impressing others that they're literally living a life that's really not sustainable or not really even the life that they're living because they're too busy worried about portraying that. I learned one thing a long time ago that it's one of the truest things. The people with the most money aren't going to sit there and show it. People I know with the most money, they wear the same shirt, same shoes, don't show it off. I just was reading a thing from Warren Buffett, man. one of the richest guys in the world, literally said he never buys a brand new car. It's crazy. I'm going down the list. I'm like, damn, man. I kind of do have a couple things in common with Warren Buffett. I'm talking about, dude, I'm like, he don't even buy a new car. He's talking about just basic stuff. It's just funny, man. But again, Mike, I appreciate your feedback, and I hope you guys understand like the validity and it comes from a genuine place, man. I promise I'm not. And the only reason I pointed that out is because, again, I'm not using him as an example, but if you guys understood and knew the things that I know about what goes on behind the scenes and how there's a lot of times parents, y'all get mad at kids thinking they're the ones demanding stuff when it's really the parents behind the scenes controlling stuff. That's all I'm saying, man. I just pointed out because it's just something. And you got to understand, man, I was raised by somebody that is probably the most humble people. Like, it's just how I was raised, man. So that's all it is. But I appreciate the feedback. All right. Let's go to the phone line, Chase. We got Ragged up next. Ragged, welcome in.
Hey, long time no talk to.
Hey, Ragged, how are you?
You know what? I'm doing okay. I just got done serving mom and dad, came back home, and I caught the tail end of this flag football thing in the Olympics.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say you would make an excellent coach, and that would qualify you to get a gold medal, even if it was coaching a United States Olympic team or another country. Who cares?
That's a great idea. I didn't think of that. Great idea.
Yes, I mean, you're still going to get the medal because you're the coach.
Oh, that counts.
You don't have to play, so you don't have to get hurt. Ah, ha, ha. Funny.
True.
Flag football. Yeah. Hey, and some of my questions were answered just by listening. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, let's go Australia. We got England. We've got Europe. Rugby players. I know you only get, back in the day, you only get 7 players, I think, on flag football. Is that correct? So
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
that
you have 3 on the line, and then you have the splits, and then you got your quarterback, and maybe, I mean, that's way back. But the World Football League introduced football to Europe. And I believe Barcelona was one of the champions. I think the Frankfurt Galaxy was one of the champions. And there might have been one last year. And they loved this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, football, flag football, yeah, that would be cool for the Olympics. Yeah, why not? Also, let's let the girls get into it. Let's let the women do it, because from what I'm seeing on commercials and stuff, there's already leagues starting up and going. Yeah,
dang.
Let's let her rip.
there is a popular league that consists of some really popular female athletes with flag football. I saw one in a Nike commercial. I'm not too familiar with it, but I guess flag football really has been picking up steam. Yeah, that's a good point.
So why not?
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. Yeah, now they'll probably select a guy. Probably, I don't know who's a popular coach they could choose. I guess they could probably choose a current. Well, that's a good question though, Ragged, because it takes place during the summer. Would a current NFL coach want to participate in that and be away from his team and preparing? I would probably guess they probably would go after a former or coach or a guy that is retired, maybe some. I don't know, but I'm gonna look into that. That's a good point. I wonder who would be.
You know what? You've got all the qualifications. Take it and run with it.
You're kind, man.
Go pack some lunch, man.
Yeah, you're too kind, man. I think I could probably do a good job, but the reality of that, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Kenji in our chat on YouTube, Ragged, she said, hey, somebody like Coach Saban, retired, little available, obviously really good coach. Coach Miller. Hey, I think Coach Saban, maybe I'll be honest. I don't see Coach Saban doing it, but he would probably do a really good job at it.
Now we need somebody young like you. You're still young. You still you still got it going on. You exited at the right time in your career, And you know what? I'm behind you. Whatever team you decide you want to go and promote this sport, I'll be right behind you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'll play quarterback for you.
Yeah, I mean, you told me you got a lengthy history at the quarterback spot, man. I need to see you slinging around a little bit.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan, man. Ragged, I appreciate you. How's everything else good with you?
Everything is great. The House of Ragged Glory is solid. We're doing okay.
Good deal. Well, now you got me intrigued. I'm gonna look this up now. I want to see who might be some options for their coaches, unless they already had selected one. But we'll look into that, man. Ragged, I appreciate it.
Let's say, yeah. I'm thinking I'm thinking Christian Miller.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and put my application in. Let me find out where I can send that in, and I'll get back with you on what you tell me.
What have you got to lose? Do it.
No, I would love to do it. I'd love to do it.
Go for the gold.
I definitely would, man. I'd love to add a gold medal to my I got my wall behind me. I got my helmets and some memorabilia stuff. I would love a gold medal would be so cool. I would love that, honestly.
You deserve it. Roll Tide, Christian.
Appreciate you, Ragged. Roll Tide, man. We'll talk soon. Good deal. Chase, now he's got me intrigued, though. I'm like, who would be the coach? I'll be honest with you, I don't see a current NFL. I mean, maybe they could, but like that would take them away from their team. And I just know, I mean, we know the NFL is a business, especially the coach, like from a player side, 100%, coaching side, even more so. So what coach would feel comfortable, you know what I mean, being away from their team to focus on that? That's the biggest question. A player going and doing it, we see guys skip OTAs, mini camp, stuff like that when they're holding out. It's not the end of the world, right? Players do that all the time. A coach, though, I'll be honest, man. I don't know. I think it'd have to probably be somebody, maybe one of these guys that's coaching like the UFL, former NFL coach. He's coaching the the UFL schedule allows it. Maybe somebody like that. I wouldn't see a college coach doing it either. Think about it. They're probably holding camps. I know recruiting, it picks up, but it's like they can't be on the road, but they obviously have to be there for recruiting purposes, like at their respective university. So I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, hell, I would be down to do it, but they ain't asking me to do it. But that would be cool. That being said, we only got a couple more minutes left. I'm trying to think if there's anything we didn't necessarily hit. Again, baseball is coming up. Sorry, whoops, almost played that clip about the tush push again. Baseball's coming up at 1, so we are getting out of here in just 2 minutes or so. So we're cutting it short by 15 minutes. But you guys stay tuned. Obviously, we're rooting for our baseball team in this tournament up in Hoover. So you can tune into that here on the air. Obviously, you can watch it live on television as well. Of course, we got people rolling in as we're making our way out of here. But per usual, I got to remind you, we'll be back here again tomorrow, 11 to 1, live on YouTube, live on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. So, guys, make sure you guys check us out, and looking forward to doing that then. But, again, real quick, I feel the need, Chase. I got to say this. I promise I wasn't trying to be hard on anybody on their NIL purchases or anything they do. This comes from a really, solid place, a place of genuineness, one of the best for these guys, and one of them just to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that they have and let it be sustainable long-term, not only for them, for their families down the road as well. So that's all that is. That being said, we got to get out of here, make room for baseball, which is coming up next. We will see you guys here tomorrow right here on the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Have a great rest of your day. Roll Tide. We'll see you guys tomorrow.